Hi, Gordon here with another edition of the Unscripted Series. And this week I'm going to talk about kind of the penalty or the price you pay in today's environment for making a mistake. Everything is so transparent, so visible today because of the internet, because of social media. And so kind of everything, you can choose not to do that. You can choose to be a company, or in this case, a builder that doesn't have a Facebook page, doesn't have a website, doesn't post any information. I know a couple of builders like that, kind of under the radar. But, if you're out there, then people are writing about you, and what you're doing is, to those that are watching, is pretty apparent. And, unfortunately, because of that, you've got to be very careful about what you do. You don't want to misstep. Now, if you're too careful, then you're guarded, and I don't think that's, I don't think that's a good way to be. I think you've got a kind of shell around you, and I'd prefer not to live like that. But you do have to take a little bit of care, and the reason is that, hi Zoe, how are you? You're ready to go see Lola, aren't you? Lola is her morning friend. And it's about 7 in the morning here, and we take her every morning to go see her friend and play with her, and Zoe knows what that time is. So anyway, back to what I was saying, the thing is that when everything is going well and there are kind of no mistakes made, nobody really takes too much notice. But when you do anything that is unexpected, alarming, maybe I'll even say interesting, well, people report that. And if you're on, Zoe, they can't hear me. So people report that, they share your post on Facebook, they pass it to their friends, they write around, and suddenly it becomes, something that is, it's newsworthy. And the problem then is that if you decide, that was a mistake, and you go to correct it, well, that's not very newsworthy. Think of newspapers when they print a retraction. It doesn't get nearly the publicity. It goes on page 3 or something and nobody reads about it. All they remember is that front page headline that it turns out was incorrect. So, a good example here is that, when we introduced the wait list last August, we first introduced it as something else. I'm not even going to mention what that something else was. Some of you know, and some of you don't. If you want to know, send me an email, and I will tell you. But I don't want to give it any more energy. We thought we had another cool concept that would be fun for our community and a good way to work the wait list, and it wasn't. It was a mistake, and people voiced their opinion very quickly, very vocally, and within a week we changed it. But even to this day, I was at the Reno Uke Fest a few weeks ago, and I had, I think, 3 people come up to me and say, hey, how's that going? And they used the word, the description of the wait list before it was a wait list. And I'm going like, well, we don't do that. But they had heard from a friend and a friend, I think, again, when you do something unexpected, or in this case, a mistake, it ripples and everybody tells everybody. But when they retract, they don't go to all their friends and say, oh, you know what I was talking to you about last week? Turns out they're not going to do it that way. Well, that doesn't happen. And so, in today's environment and economy, the penalty for mistakes is big. They have much more of an impact than when you do things well. I know it's just an interesting thing. Luckily, it was not a huge mistake, and people in our community understand, and they were understanding here, appreciative that we changed it, and changed it quickly, and that we listened to people, but a mistake nonetheless. All right, see you next week on another edition of the Unscripted Series. Bye-bye.